Do you remember the sketches that got cut more than the ones that were game changers, or at all? I guess probably not more so.
I had a weird experience on the show.
Yeah,
and by kismet, I mean I'd auditioned. I did a few impressions. I did just regular bits, and I did a little thing called the Church Lady, which was in my stand-up act.
Yes.
So then it's like...
How long was it in the stand-up before you thought to bring it to the...
Probably 2 years.
Okay.
And riffing on stage a lot. Isn't That Special came from just being at little clubs, like 40-seaters.
Wow.
And
you would do it like at the end of the show as a crowd work thing? Or?
I would do it as an observation. I would say we were Lutheran, and there were always those people. The initial thing was we were just behind the punch ball. Well, actually, the initial condescending voice came from when I would get up there, I'd look like Howdy Doody. I'm 23. I look 15 at that point in time. And so I would kind of punch that balloon by going, people in the back are going, wow, 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 they let children do stand-up. So it was that voice that we've all met. And then it was the teacher. I did it as a teacher who would say, let's make our sailboat. I'd have a piece of paper. We fold it over, and we fold it over. It looks like mine's just a little bit better than yours. So that was that.
Oh, man.
And then I eventually became the woman that was behind the church, by the punch bowl with the orthopedic shoes. Some of us come to church when it's convenient. So it all came from that. But it was a very fun attitude, even now, just to play.
Would you look forward to playing it on stage when you knew you were about to do it? Was it one of those things where you were like...
Well, I would do an hour 10.
Yeah.
The year or two before SNL, I was definitely stand-up heavy and really doing a lot of gigs. And so it was part of it. And it was a little tricky. I mean, the easiest laugh I ever got was Jimmy Stewart as a waiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just took your order. Well, what do you mean you don't know? I told you the specials. What do you want me to stand here like a dancing monkey? What? Well, fuck you too. Now that was the one. That was the one that saved me in a biker bar with the blender going, fuck you, show us your dick. And they're doing the blender. But then fuck you,
Crush.
So that was the one. But Church Day was a little delicate, a little weird. But when they hooked it, it was great, But
did you know it was going to be when you got to SNL, was it an immediate thing you thought of where like, all right, right time, right place, I'm busting this out?
I had other things that first show. I did Chopping Broccoli on the piano.
Yep.
The Church Lady took a circuitous route. So it's like, maybe you try that. No one was that aware of it or interested in it. And
maybe less pressure that way to do it, right? I mean, I don't know if you're coming in with a character that everyone's like, this is going to be great. Like maybe it's too much pressure of the eyeballs, the writers.
I'd never been on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
No one knew who I was. Is he funny? What? He looks weird. I mean, John and Phil Hartman, God rest his soul, the late great Phil Hartman, they would do all the gangster stuff. How are you doing? What's the word in the street? What are you doing? I was kind of a lone wolf, basically.
Trying to find your way.
Yeah, and I'd never done sketch comedy, and I'd never been on television, basically. I did some goofy pilots here and there, but, and anyway, those are long stories.
Yeah.
But basically not. I was green. And so then Church Lady, I do it at read-through, but Neil Young's in town that week. This is on a Wednesday. He calls Lauren, he goes, I'm doing a garage band motif down at the Madison Square Garden. Do you have someone who could play like an angry woman who would yell at us? So I leave that after the read-through. I go downtown. I don't even know if Church Lady's on the show. I found out later it wasn't until Phil Hartman said, I think we should give it a shot. So it was put on the board as the final one in the dress rehearsal.
Wow.
Like the graveyards,
Yeah.
So I went down and went out on stage. They mic'd me up and yelled at Neil Young's band in this fake garage they were playing in.
In full Church Lady garb?
I don't know if I had chosen the dress yet.
Yeah.
Some kind of dress.
Right.
Eventually, it was a frilly one or the Church Lady one. I knew which one I wanted, but I held them up to Lauren. Oh, I think the one on the left. And it was the one we used.
Wow.
So then,
but you're a Church Lady yelling at Neil Young. You're
I was doing the character.
Wow.
It's just too loud. You're the old man. Isn't that special? Whatever. I did. It was just screaming. I was never. I'm with Neil Young at Madison Square Garden.
What the fuck? How did I get here?
Crazy. So then we did the practice show. We rehearsed all week, and I had Victoria Jackson was a guest, and then Sigourney Weaver was the host, and we had, Devil and Your Naughty Bulbous, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do the practice show, and we get to the end. Here comes church chat, the whole thing. And it crushed. So then it moves up to the first sketch after the host monologue in my first show. And I was in the cold opening as well. So
the first show?
I was cold opening. I didn't know I was in the cold opening. I was in the first show with Phil and Jan, and then the host, Sigourney, came out, and then it was Church Chat. So I'm holding down the show, basically. My manager at the time, in between dress and air, came back and said, I don't know why, but it's your show. It's your show tonight. I don't know why. So I was nervous beyond comprehension.
Really?
Yeah, well, I was swearing at myself in the mirror. Fuck you. I was just so trying to get rid of the fear.
Yes.
And then it all worked out. So that tilted me on the show from the very beginning because Church Chat got so popular. There was a lot of Tammy Faye. There was some Jimmy Swaggart. There were religious scandals, the Reagan era.
Yeah.
Church Chats. And she was great because guests could come on. Sean Penn beat the shit out of me, sucker punched me, and then I beat the shit out of him.
Yes.
But so that it grew so much. The ratings were so huge every time it was on. It became a phenomenon.
It had to be on.
It had to be on.
You knew people were watching for that.
Yeah, and it was great in that I had Phil and Jan and John. Everyone came on the show and scored too. So Lorne loves that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He loves a sketch that's killing, and then you have all these guests. So the cast is involved.
Yes.
So that's why I was tilted on the show. So I didn't have to earn anything. I wasn't scared in that way. I was still very nervous for about 80 shows, but that's
more stories and like these can be found in the podcast Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade.
The irony is on Fly on the Wall, we interview other people like you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about this stuff.
You get, but
a little bit.
It naturally comes up, like when you guys are talking about like with an Apatow and about the Sandler stuff. Like good Sandler stories come up, and then you'll give some good curtain peel reveals of when Sandler and I were doing this, or when you saw him or told him this before a sketch.
Yeah.
That church lady phenomenon thing is so there'll never be another time like that in any. First of all, sketch is just not what it was like at that time, and with also less, channels, less options, everything, but also, like we mentioned earlier, without social media and stuff, to be a phenomenon like that on a show that's the It Show, was it? Can you like tap back into that? Like as far as like when you're walking around New York, were you?
Oh yeah.
Did you were you like, I can't believe that I'm getting recognized everywhere? I'm going into the coffee shop I went into last month where they spelled my name Donna. And now they're like, Mr. Coffee, do you want to make the beans yourself? I don't know who that is, but they're just.
I've never seen that character from you. You're maybe too strong looking, but
no, it's the little nibbishy Jewish guy that works at the Jewish deli that somehow got a job. He's double shifting at Starbucks, doing Mr. Coffee. Do you want to make you want to smell the beans first?
Anyway, that was the show was in a rough place. We only had an 8-show pickup,
right.
And then we started growing the audience outside. You'd rehearse in 8H. You'd come out on a Friday night, and there'd be like 4 stragglers. Hey, could I get an autograph? By 1990, at Wayne's World came in, and George Bush and Ross Perot, 91, you come out, there'd be 300 people there. So this whole rush, the ratings doubled or tripled. I mean, all of us, Phil, Mike Myers, Kevin Nealon, Dennis Miller, it was just a real, and then Sandler came in and Farley and everybody. So it kept growing. So it was out of body and surreal. And we followed the Golden Girls, which was a huge show. So our numbers were
SNL
huge.
was after the Golden Girls?
It was off on at 10. There was the newscast, but still that carried us over. So our numbers were huge. So you could do a bit, and then the next day on Sunday, hey, I love that church lady giving Sean Penn a bunch of shit, And I'd say to my wife, really? No, my point is, good night, ladies and gentlemen. This is, you have to download Fly on the Freaking Wall.
Yeah. I'm still laughing at how fun that was. Hey guys, Adam Ray here for the About Last Night podcast. Hope you enjoyed that little ALN highlight, that little freebie tidbit. If you want to see more highlights, clips, animations, and episodes, click right there. Click right there and get all the free ALN goodies your heart can muster. And of course, subscribe to the show by clicking the ALN logo right there. Do that. It's easy. See you next time. Peace.